Let's talk about game controllers. When I say game controller, you're probably picturing something like this, but this general design is far from being the only one ever made. What is a game controller anyway? A definition by Dimensions.com says they are handheld input accessories used to interface with video game consoles. Okay, that's a pretty wide definition. If you weren't already familiar with this concept, you could probably get a pretty diverse range of potential images in your head. A lot of designs have been tried out over the years, some of them funny and plenty of them failures. In this video, we'll look at some of the more weird peripherals from the early era of CD-ROMs and cartridges. We begin the story with Nintendo, the company that's dared to think outside the box perhaps more than any other. In the 80s, it repeatedly tried to push the boundaries, releasing a number of very interesting add-ons for the NES. Take ROB the Robot for instance. This little guy played a central role in ad campaigns leading up to the release of the NES in North America, and helped distance the new console from the failed ones that had come before it. Among the first wave of NES buyers, the most popular reason for the purchase was that the children wanted the robot. But did they actually use it once they got it? Well, no. It was a major success in that it lured people into buying the console, but it was really far too early to bring a robot into the console gaming experience. Rob had to be manufactured cheaply to lower the price, and so it was clunky, unreliable, slow, didn't have many moves, and made a lot of noise. Only 2 games were ever licensed that made use of the robot. Children quickly lost interest in it, but then discovered that actually just using the regular controllers to play games was a lot of fun. So it kept them hooked for decades, and it all worked out for Nintendo. Another gimmick that didn't work and never even made its way out of Japan was the Famicom 3D system, released in 1987. These sleek-looking glasses, resembling a modern VR headset, used the technique of alternating left and right eye images on the CRT, in combination with shutters on the glasses, so the player only saw with one eye at a time, to give the illusion of depth, similar to what you would see in 3D cinemas nowadays. The issue was, this method quickly strained the player's eyes and gave them a headache, so it wasn't very pleasant, and not many games were developed to be compatible with the glasses. Then there was the iconic Power Glove, released by Nintendo in '89. Equipped with the Power Glove, you could use hand gestures to control on-screen characters. Its blockbuster advertising campaign hyped up the glove's potential to redefine the gaming experience. However, the reality did not match the expectations, mostly due to hardware limitations. The glove was inaccurate at best, and the cumbersome process requiring calibration with clunky receivers attached to the TV before each game made the kids toss it aside as quickly as they opened the box containing it. Also, the digital resolution was low to keep the price down, so the glove could only track finger motion and tilt within a narrow range of the TV. Quoted from gaming website Giant Bomb, most kids were under the false impression that their Power Gloves would offer them unprecedented control over their video games, which didn't happen. Although it took another 18 years for Nintendo to release an actual working revolutionary motion controller, the early attempt with the Power Glove is still a beloved legend in the gaming industry. The total list of NES accessories is vast, with Nintendo as well as many third parties exploring the limits and possibilities of what the newly created scene of mainstream console gaming could offer. There was the Power Pad, the Laser Scope, the Zapper. No stone was left unturned. But in the end, it was still the regular controllers that won out. A major reason why the other stuff didn't catch on is that it required too much advanced technology that just wasn't available at the time. Or it was there, but too expensive for the average consumer. So cheaper alternatives were used in manufacturing, and those weren't any good. Now, it would be easy to keep talking about Nintendo because they made a lot of weird stuff, but let's take a look at other companies as well. Sega released the Activator in 1993. It was an almost circle that you could place on the floor, and it would track your movements and translate them to characters in the game. Again, ambitious idea, not very accurate. The fishing controller called in 1999 for the Dreamcast. As you could probably guess, it was used for fishing games, of which there weren't particularly many. But while its audience was therefore very limited, it was generally well received and well functioning. By the turn of the century, making weird alternative gadgets for gaming had become considerably more viable. In 2002, Capcom released Steel Battalion for the Xbox. The game sold out, albeit in limited quantities, and came bundled with a massive controller that you had to use to play the game. It had a whopping 40 buttons and 3 foot pedals to immerse you in the world of the future. It's the year 2080, and everyone's out fighting with the vertical tanks, or BTs as they're called. Question is, can you survive? Probably not, because, well realistic, the controls are a handful. But despite the difficulty, people did not hate this game. Still, one can only assume it wouldn't have sold many more units than it did, even if more were available, because of the hefty price tag. The bundle that contained the game and the controller sold for $200 in the United States, which is $345 in today's money. That's a lot. But hey, if you're a game collector, you need to have one. I'm not sure if you would want to commit yourself to getting your hands on every single extraordinary peripheral though. While I've mentioned some more prominent ones, throughout gaming history, hundreds and probably thousands of models have been made, each with their own quirks. In gaming, everything is possible. We can only rejoice in the variety and keep exploring, keep pushing the limits of what gaming can be. This video was made as an assignment for the course Evolution of Video Games given by the CGBR Lab of the University of Tartu. Thanks for tuning in.